Everyone is talking about President Biden marking 100 days in office this week. But what if the next 100 days are even more important? I'm not just saying that as some sort of angle here on your TV. I'm actually going to draw on history because presidents do push signature policies, and they do talk a lot about the 100 days, a mark that many historians use. But what we see in a larger pattern that I want to explore right now is how the second 100 days historically, especially recently, have proven more pivotal. They can be make or break. Consider how President Clinton spent the spring and summer of his first term pushing a historic tax increase, which hit the wealthy, and Republicans attacked.
You can go right down a list of job-killing tax increases for most working Americans and for most retired Americans. This is clearly an unsatisfactory package.
So in a few minutes, all those Americans who are watching on CNN and C-SPAN will put down your remote control and grab your wallet. Because your taxes are going up.
Bob Dole with the zingers. Republicans weren't just mad. They were excited mad politically because they thought they had Clinton on the run, and that bill passed by a single vote in both houses. Republicans thought they had a winner, but voters disagreed. They reelected Clinton amid a humming economy, as the New York Times put it. And one of our experts, political strategist Jay Komanduri, argues this actually speaks to a broader dynamic than just that presidency, because the second 100 days can be far more defining, and it tests how the opposition finds its voice. We can see it. When Bush came into office, he talked about compassionate conservatism. In his first 100 days, he got the ball rolling, talking up and at least getting coverage for his planned education policy, No Child Left Behind. That wasn't how most Republicans started their tenures. But when did things really change? It was in the second 100 days with those big tax cuts. Then as now, this is interesting, the Senate was evenly split, 50-50. The vice president casting those deciding votes. Then as now, the incumbent in the White House thought if they could just hold things, they could get a lot more passed. But after those tax cuts, in those second 100 days, a Republican senator got so angry, he split and began caucusing with the Democrats.
I will leave the Republican Party and become an independent. Tax and spending decisions, control of the Senate will be changed by my decision.
And it was that closely split Senate. Well, everything changed with that senator's defection, and Democrats took back power and changed what would come in that presidency. Then you have Trump. Many politicos remember one of the most iconic early blows. Senator John McCain, who'd clashed with Donald Trump, decided to deal him that stunning defeat. You see it there on your screen, thumbs down, voting no, on the key Republican priority of trying to repeal Obamacare. That vote was in Donald Trump's second 100 days. So now it's Biden's turn with a big speech that we're going to cover tomorrow, marking 100 days as well, but the next 100 could be all the more important. Which brings us to our deep dive political conversation. Always on a special day here on The Beat. It's known as Che Day with political strategist Jay Komanduri. He worked on 3 presidential campaigns, and we are indebted to him for the second 100 days theory. Now, Che, news cynics will think that the news anchor is just trying to keep people interested for the second 100 days. And I hope everyone stays interested. But you, as someone who's worked around several campaigns, this is your idea. Explain.
Yeah, I quite frankly think that the first 100 days tends to be very overrated. But the second 100 days, I would argue, is tremendously underrated. Because quite frankly, presidents' domestic legacies, their key legislative signature pieces, go before Congress and the media and are heavily scrutinized in those second 100 days. And that is really where the rubber meets the road for a lot of presidents. That's where legacies are decided. For Trump, it was where his Titanic met the iceberg, John McCain. And it really defines their presidencies, at least in terms of domestic policy, for the rest of their tenure.
Yeah. I'm sure you have other Titanic analogies. Right. Feel free to make them. Great film, no? Good film, Jay?
Oh, I'm a big fan of James Cameron's Titanic, as I am A Night to Remember, a fantastic movie from the 1950s, a British film. Check it out, Criterion Collection.
There's the plug. In my case, it's a night I don't remember because I don't have the arcane film knowledge that you bring. But I'm curious what you think about the point that we quoted, which is your point that the opposition also takes a minute. And we are in smash mouth politics. There's huge clashes on everything. And some Republicans, of course, came out and they had their lines, they had their attacks, and some had their distractions on Dr. Seuss. But when I was reading some of what you argue here, it struck me that, that also makes sense because in these first 100 days, the loudest Republican voices, McCarthy, McConnell, and others, have not only not found a good, vulnerable place to land a punch on Biden, some have even, in a maybe apparent candor, said, well, the problem is he has good relationships and he's moderate, and they've sort of complained that he is not as easily definable as a villain even for their side.
Yeah, the second 100 days is really when the opposition finds its voice. To put it in another movie term, the first 100 days feels like Star Wars: A New Hope. The second 100 days can often feel like The Empire Strikes Back. It's when the opposition kind of coalesces and figures out how to attack a new president. And look, I know that the GOP opposition looks bumbling and pathetic right now. There was a political poll that showed that more Republicans had heard about Dr. Seuss and that controversy than the COVID stimulus relief bill or any legislation that Biden had proposed. But keep in mind, in early 2009, the GOP looked just as inept. And they were able, in that summer, the Tea Party kind of arose and they were able to find their voice. And it was during the second 100 days that Sarah Palin posted on Facebook that the Affordable Care Act contains death panels. And American politics, I would argue, has not been the same ever since. So,
well, and that ties, Jay, that ties to the other story we were covering, which is the power of disinformation. And you're giving, from your experience, also a warning that as good as things may look for the Biden folks, things can get different and rougher. I'm running out of time, but since you brought up Star Wars, I do wonder whether in your conception here that makes Tucker Carlson Jar Jar Binks.
Well, you know what? Jar Jar Binks was actually a good guy, Ari. So I'm going to defend Jar Jar Binks a little bit. He had his heart in the right place. I would probably put Tucker Carlson much more as Grand Moff Tarkin, the man behind the very flawed design of the Death Star that got blown up.
Another great reference and a flaw. What about what about Darth? Who would be Darth Maul? Didn't he had the double lightsaber, I believe?
He did, but he was also dispatched very, very easily. So maybe Donald Trump Jr. would count as Darth Maul. It looked like it was very formidable, something Democrats should worry about. But when you actually encountered him in real life or in a political contest, no problem.
I'm enjoying this, and since I know you and I've known you for years, I can say this. What we have revealed here, if nothing else, is that I'm a nerd and you are a huge nerd.
I plead guilty to that.
I plead guilty. Jake Koumandouri with, again, a little unconventional because we hear so much about the first 100, but you had several examples from McCain to the Tea Party, and I suspect some people in the White House may be listening as you talk about how to navigate that. So thank you, sir. We will see you again. Movies, politics, and more with Jay.